xTool is entering the DTF printing game with their all-new xTool Apparel printer. This machine is being heavily marketed as a all-in-one solution that addresses a lot of concerns like maintenance, addressing workflow issues, and safety concerns. A key selling point and something that really interests me is the all-in-one integrated printer, shaker, heater combo, which completely automates the powder application and curing process. With its high-quality Epson printheads, xTool is positioning this DTF printer as one that can work for not only small but also medium-sized businesses, offering not only efficiency and cost savings but also footprint overall space savings. Look how much space this thing takes up compared to a DTF printer like I have behind me here. Now we'll get into the pricing and everything a little bit later into this video, but I'll just say it is pretty aggressive, and I think that that is going to be the main sticking point for those of you guys who are looking to get interested in buying this. But if you guys are new to the channel, my name is Alex. I am the owner of AMS Transfers. We are a custom screen print and custom DTF transfer supplier located in Houston, Texas. We are currently at year 4 of our business, and we operate 4 24-inch Audley DTF printers. And just to give you guys a quick breakdown, these are the Chinese printers. So we got these guys directly from China, directly from the manufacturer. Okay, so the xTool Apparel printer. Now, a couple of you guys have been leaving comments on my page saying, what are my thoughts? What do I think about it? Are you gonna get one? Everything. So, to be honest, when I first got these comments, I hadn't even heard about it. This was something new to me, and it just came across my desk a couple of weeks ago. So I am pretty new to this myself, and I have kind of taken the past couple of days to really sink my teeth in, research, and kind of watch all of the existing content that has already been posted on this platform. So I have kind of assembled what I think are really the key themes, ideas, selling points for this DTF printer, and I've kind of assembled my thoughts and who I think that this printer is best suited for. All right, let's just jump into the first one. The key theme, no doubt, is going to be that simplified all-in-one process. Basically, xTool wants you to think that with just the click of a button, you can have a DTF transfer that you can then apply to a t-shirt. And while I think that there is going to be a little bit more work involved, overall, it's a pretty well assessment, and judging by how they have everything configured, the kind of all-in-one solution with the printer, with the shaker, it really is a pretty seamless process. All right, so before we get started though, I have a couple of kind of FAQ questions that I have assembled through combing over all of the different videos, what people are saying in the comments, what people have said on the Kickstarter, and then just my general thoughts. The xTool Apparel printer is a new direct-to-film printer designed for printing designs onto fabrics and other soft goods. It kind of distinguishes itself from traditional DTF printers through what they're saying is an all-in-one design. It automates the printing and the powder application and the curing kind of baking process all into a single streamlined operation. And they're saying that this integration, they're aiming to solve the common pain points really associated with DTF printing. So like the powder application and the fume exposure for one, like these fumes that these DTF printers create, not great. Plus, I mean, this is something that I think we kind of got to get our hands on to see how good it actually is, but they say it has an AI camera to monitor the DTF prints, to spot any issues, and then to kind of fix the issues for you in real time. The xTool Apparel printer can print on a wide range of fabrics, including, but not limited to, cotton, polyester, denim, canvas, spandex, nylon, and way more, guys. This versatility is a key advantage of DTF printing, allowing for the application on various different materials compared to something like sublimation, where you're limited to white, maybe light colored, 100% polyester garments. Now, what are the key selling features that xTool is marketing this xTool Apparel printer as? First and foremost, number one, the all-in-one design. This integrates the printing, powder application, and curing all in one. Second, the dual heads. This comes with dual i600 Epson print heads that just came out in 2023, so we are getting a relatively new print head just installed in this machine. The AI camera, that's going to monitor your print quality and auto adjust for you in real time. Automatic maintenance system, so it's going to circulate and manage the white and CMYK ink so that you're never going to have to worry about clogging with this DTF printer, they claim. User-friendly software, and then also single sheet printing. So they do say roll-to-roll printing is coming, which I'll get into a little bit later in this video. But as for the software, it comes with a whole bunch of nice to have value adds like production cost management. And again, we'll get into all of this a little bit later in the video. Now, xTool estimates that the worst case scenario for the cost to kind of like print a shirt. So this, like, what they really mean by that is kind of the ink usage that you're going to have. So worst case scenario basically means like the best quality. So, and also the size of the design. So if you're printing a design with a whole bunch of ink at a very high quality, that's going to use the most ink that you can. So that's kind of what they mean by worst case. And they're saying it's going to be 90 cents a t-shirt, assuming that all t-shirts, again, are like purchased around $5 or less with a wholesale account. And like the print doesn't exceed 14 by 18 inches. So this is how they're all getting to like the 90 cents per print cost. But like I said, the actual cost is going to vary depending on the size of the graphic. One thing to note though, as for the supplies, xTool only sells their ink so far. They might change it in the future as 500 milliliter bottles. Not great. Now for right now, xTool has launched the xTool Apparel Printer as a Kickstarter. And for those of you guys who may not know or have tried Kickstarter before, you may be wondering what is the actual difference between a Kickstarter, the early bird pricing, and the MSRP retail price. So the Kickstarter price is kind of like a limited time offer to early backers, is like what it's supposed to be. So if you place a $50 deposit for the xTool Apparel Printer, you're locking in your spot to purchase the DTF printer at that set discounted price when it actually becomes available. So you're getting a 30% discount just for putting up that 50% deposit, or that $50 deposit. xTool is giving you a 30% early bird discount. Now, xTool is saying that this apparel printer, the xTool Apparel Printer, can bring several new opportunities to a lot of different businesses of all shapes and sizes. This could be custom apparel businesses, on-demand printing business, branding for your small business, selling DTF transfers as a DTF transfer, like literally just selling the DTF transfers to your customers. And last but not least, just offering customization in a retail storefront to your customers. But with all that, let's just kind of get into the meat and potatoes of the xTool Apparel Printer. Now, those of you guys who have been watching my videos for a while, or you might operate DTF printers yourself, you guys know that with the whole DTF process, there are a lot of manual steps. From applying the adhesive, curing, and even cutting the DTF transfers, the xTool Apparel Printer promises to take care of all of that for you, making the process more user-friendly and efficient. As one of the YouTube videos actually kind of explained, the goal is to kind of create a process where you simply like drag and drop your design onto the desired fabric. They want to make it like as effortless as you can, kind of like how desktop printers work. So you just like are in Microsoft Word, click Control P, and there you go, you've printed out a piece of paper. That's what they want. That's their vision. And kind of the integration of the printer and the dryer shaker combo is something that we really haven't seen before in the industry. Like if you guys can see behind me here, we have the printer itself up there, the blue thing. And then back here, we still have this huge dryer that takes up a lot of space. And I really like how they've kind of integrated it all into one. They just basically put the printer on top of the dryer and it feeds into the dryer, gets powdered, cured. Everything that you need to do is completely automated for you. This not only addresses the safety concerns that people have with the toxic fumes DTF printers can produce, but it also eliminates the need to manually apply powder. And even still with these printers here, it is a little more automated, but I still have to make sure that there's a constant supply of powder always being on the DTF transfers as they're coming out of the printer. I mean, I think one of these YouTubers said it best. And I'm quoting, having it all together and not messing with it and getting everywhere in your space, he's referring to the powder, I think is a really big deal. And I think you can't put a price on safety and getting that junk in your lungs. I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. Really, I think that there is obviously a premium price being added to this product, but when you consider the cost of your health, the cost of what maybe, I mean, again, worst case scenario, a cancer treatment could cost, you have to make sure that you're prioritizing your health over anything and everything. Now let's get into the actual inside components, what makes up this machine. So the xTool Apparel Printer uses dual i600 Epson print heads. And while, again, like I said, we'll get into this price a little bit later, but for this high of a price, I would have preferred something like the i3200 print heads from Epson. They are an older print head, but they're the same ones that we have in all 4 of our DTF printers. We also have a dual head setup. and we've loved them. They have been nothing but great to us. We haven't had to replace any of them so far, and the oldest DTF printer that we have in our fleet is going on 3 years old. Compare that to something that we've seen with the XP600 and now the i600 that has replaced that. Epson released the i600 printhead in 2003, so it is a new printhead, relatively speaking, because I'm pretty sure the i3200 came out in like 2002, 2003. So relatively speaking, it is a new printhead, but it's basically just an upgraded version of the XP600, which, if those of you guys who have been maybe in like the DTF Facebook groups, you know those things are very problematic. But the i600 dual print heads do contribute to higher resolution and faster printing speeds, both things that are great. We will take them, and they claim a longer lifespan. So that's something that we're gonna have to test, get our hands on the actual print heads and see how they work over time. Or is it actually that they've developed some improvements where they don't clog, where they can last a lot longer? That's something that I can't say, or I'm not even going to take the word of the company selling the product. It's something that I really want to just test and get my hands on myself so that I can run it through its paces and see if it's something worth considering. But with that dual print head, for those of you guys who may not know what's the kind of like, why do you want that? That allows for much faster printing because it's going to be laying down the color and the white ink at the same time. So it'll be first laying down the color, and then it's going to come over that in kind of the same motion and then apply the white. So it's a very incremental speed increase to the DTF printing process, and something that if you didn't have if you were working with something that didn't have the dual head option, would really slow you down, and that is just not something that you want to deal with. Now, those of you guys who do own DTF printers, or you've seen a lot of videos on them, you've probably heard about the maintenance that is involved with owning a DTF printer, and why it is probably the biggest pain point that new DTF printer owners run into. So let's move into how xTool has addressed the maintenance and kind of cleaning procedures that are required for operating and maintaining a DTF printer. Now, DTF printers are known for their frequent maintenance, their often clogging, and the general headaches that are associated with them. But that is not to say xTool is one of the same, because xTool has claimed that they have solved these issues with what they're calling an automatic ink circulation system management system. And now they're saying that this system is designed to constantly run its own autonomous maintenance on the machine. It's going to be circulating the inks, it's going to be cleaning the nozzle. This self-maintenance feature is a significant advantage just because it kind of does it for you without you needing to prompt the machine to do anything. So it's going to happen all in the background for you. Now, one thing that this is telling me is that is going to consume more ink than it otherwise would if it didn't have these auto cleaning features. Now, something that I can tell you guys from my years of experience running DTF printers is that auto cleaning is a very nice looking feature. It's something that a lot of companies like to advertise, but the printers that I have been running for the past 3 years do not have any sort of auto cleaning feature. I have found a way to make it work with using capping solutions. So at the end of each day, after we finished running all of our prints for the day, all our production is complete, we put capping solution in each one of the capping stations on the DTF printer, and that just allows all of the print head nozzles to be completely submerged to moisture of some kind. They're not going to dry out, they're not going to get hard and crusty because of that moisture, and that's something that we found maybe like a year and a half into our actual DTF printing process, and to be honest, I don't know how we lived without. So something like that could be a great option as well, compared to something like an auto cleaning feature, because one, it doesn't waste any ink, and then two, this is it works just as well. We've literally been using it the past 3 years with great effects. Now, one other thing that I think is actually genuinely cool is kind of the software integration that xTool has created with the DTF Apparel, with the xTool Apparel printer, and their whole kind of xTool software. So it is, to me, very reminiscent of Cricut Design Space, and really it seems to me that that's kind of where xTool is kind of trying to fit themselves in. They want to be more of a maker's version of Cricut. To me, Cricut is kind of more geared towards moms and people who shop at Michael's and that kind of a thing, just like hobbyists in a way. But xTool, for what it's worth, seems more geared towards makers and crafters. And with that, I think it definitely does set itself apart a little bit from Cricut. But I think what they want to take is the ease of use, the user friendliness that comes with the Cricut design space, operating a Cricut, kind of the whole cohesiveness of Cricut. Like you can get Cricut vinyl, Cricut sublimation paper, everything, like Cricut tape. They have the whole product suite, everything you would need to use a Cricut, they make the same product for it. So I think that's kind of where xTool is going with that. And looking at just the like xTool, again, I don't know the actual software that they, or like what they call it, but it is very reminiscent to me of Cricut Design Space, and it works though. Like I think it's honestly a great thing and something that will really push the industry forward, because it's going to allow a lot more people who do not have experience troubleshooting DTF printers, experience working with raster image processing softwares like Digital Factory or maybe even Maintop. This is going to be perfect for them because it'll literally allow them to do what they said. Just drag and drop designs from your computer into the xTool design software, and you'll have your DTF transfer printed in a matter of minutes. This printer is designed to integrate seamlessly with xTool's existing XCS software. That's what they call it, XCS, I'm just blanking on the name. The software suite includes an AI-powered design tool, raster image processing capabilities, so that's going to allow you to actually take your like PNG and get it so that the printer can take that, like spit out an image for you. So it'll take your image on your computer, turn it into a format that the DTF Apparel printer can actually use, can print. So it has features for auto nesting and machine control. So what that means is if you have, for example, multiple different designs, like you have a left chest design, a full back design, and then maybe a sleeve, what auto nesting will do is kind of arrange all of those designs to take up the least amount of space possible, so that you're making the most use of the space on the film, you're making the most use of the actual printer's time, because time is money, right? You don't want that printer spending longer than you have to when you could be printing more orders. So it's just kind of like an auto generated way to make the most use of the designs on the sheet. It's going to rotate them, it's going to put them next to each other, and just kind of, you know what I mean, make the most use of the sheet for you. So you're not going to have to assemble them and arrange them how you would do it. It'll do it just for you. The other thing that I think is honestly a super nice value add that I haven't seen in like outside of programs like Digital Factory, which cost upwards of $1,000 alone just for the license, is the job costing. So you can input the parameters that you pay for the ink, the film, the powder, all of these things, your time, and it will then calculate the cost of the jobs based on all of those different variables. So you just input your designs as you normally would, and it will give you the exact cost for that specific file. So if you have a file of 10 different designs and that file costs $22, it'll tell you that right then and there very easily, again, without you having to do anything. So that will just allow you to be more competitive in your pricing. It'll allow you to kind of have a pulse. Are you charging too much? Are you charging too little? Do you need to increase your price here, there, whatever? It's always good to have a pulse on the exact cost of the product, and especially your COGS, cost of goods sold. So I think that this is a great plus and something that I wish other RIP softwares would implement. Now, kind of when I was going through my research, the sources were indicating that the xTool apparel printer is kind of geared towards like small and medium-sized businesses who want to get into on-demand printing. And for me, the medium-sized businesses that's more tricky. I think that if possibly printing t-shirts is a ancillary product, an ancillary service of your business, it's not your main focus, this possibly could be an option. But in a lot of situations, I would say it just kind of is difficult to justify the price and the experience that you would get for this DTF printer with a medium-sized business. And really it does kind of go into the small businesses, I would say, because again, if it is your focus, I mean, I think I have it here in my notes that it prints up to 50 square feet per hour, and that is an estimation. And again, judging based off my experience, I would say that that is the estimation on the lowest quality setting. So if you were to actually increase the quality setting to something that you would want to use for production, I would say that it is a safe estimate that you could cut that in half, but that is just my guess. I do not know that for fact. Do not take that for fact. That is just my assumption based on my experience, because these DTF manufacturers, they love to kind of stretch the truth. Am I right? So like they're gonna, if they can actually get 50 square feet of transfers some way, like it may look terrible. They might be like 2 or 4 pass, and they might look terrible, but at least they can market it as 50 square feet per hour, because that's pretty fast. In all honesty, it has like, I think 14 inches wide of printing width. So if it can actually print up to 50 square feet per hour, that is quite compelling. But as you guys might be able to see from these videos here, I don't know about that. I think this would honestly be a pretty good time to kind of put up the specifications. So I'll put those right up next to me. The DPI that it prints up to, that's decent. And then as for the ink, I really like that they did not go for a cartridge style. They actually went for the bulk ink filling, like the tanks. I think that's great. They definitely could have, and with the way that like this machine is marketed, I think, I don't want to say it makes sense, but like I'm really surprised that they did not go for a cartridge style ink loading system. One, it allows them to control the ink process, so basically the only ink that you can use is their cartridge style. So I figured that kind of, with the whole process of building a vertically integrated Cricut competitor kind of thing, that's where they would want to go. I am not complaining. I think that it's a great decision. It is super consumer friendly, and it overall allows you to have a lot more flexibility than if you were stuck using something like a cartridge style DTF printer. And there are a lot of DTF printers nowadays that are coming out with cartridge style. Don't even get me started on that. That is a whole thing. Like big DTF printers like the ones you guys see behind me, big ones going cartridge style. And it's just, it doesn't make sense, because I was looking at the Roland BY or SY20, S300 or something. I don't know. I'll put up the actual model number on the screen. But that one was cartridge style, and it was for 500 milliliters of ink, like $80, which is just absolutely wild. Like we sell ours on Cost Plus DTF. Cost Plus DTF is like, we sell our consumables and supplies like our film, our DTF ink, all of that kind of stuff for our cost, like what we pay to get it from China straight off of the boat, plus 20%. So like we sell our DTF supplies. So like we have some insight into the pricing for DTF ink and whatnot. And for a 1,000 milliliter bottle of ink, white ink, I will say, white ink is $47 from Cost Plus DTF. But if you like a color ink is only $40. For double the ink, you are getting half. How can I explain this? This is just like my mind is breaking. For half of the price, you are getting double the amount of ink compared to a cartridge style. And basically, like the reason why people love cartridge style DTF printers so much is they always like pointing to it allows you to manage the airflow in the DTF printer. So obviously you don't want air getting into the print lines, but if you manage your ink right and you don't ever let your ink get below that fill line, you won't have that problem to begin with. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's definitely something that companies are doing to make more money. I mean, we don't really even have to speculate on this. This is HP's entire business model. They literally sell you the printer that you have probably on your desk in your office at home. They sell you that printer at a loss, but then they make money hand over fist on the ink, which you need to continue operating that printer. So it's kind of like like a loss leader in a way. They get you on the printer, but then you need to keep on buying the ink. And that is in a way where I see the DTF market trending. So I am so glad. Again, I kind of went on a big tangent there, but I am so glad that xTool has gone with the bulk ink management system, no cartridges. That is a huge thumbs up from me. Now, xTool is launching this on Kickstarter. So they're doing a Kickstarter campaign, and they are offering early bird pricing in bundles. So I think it's like a $50 deposit will secure you a spot to buy it at like the discounted price. And it's $3,999 for the printer alone. And then if you also wanted the shaker included with that, that's gonna set you back at $6,299. And again, this is with the early bird pricing, so you're getting 30% off of the MSRP retail price. Meaning that when this product actually does come to market and you're not buying it on a Kickstarter, it's going to cost $8,998 for a 14-inch wide DTF printer with Epson i600 print heads. That hurts, man. I don't know. Like I said, I've been doing research on this printer for like a week, almost 2 weeks. And I watched Milo Print's video on this first. And when I watched that video, I was like, this thing is super awesome. Like I kind of want one. So I went to the website, this Kickstarter page that I'm on right now, and I saw that price, and that's it. I don't know, man, that sucks. Honestly, it sucks, because if this thing was $4,000 for the printer and the dryer shaker combo, if that was $4,000 retail price for those two things, bro, this thing would sell like hotcakes. I am telling you. And I get it. There's obviously a tremendous amount of research and development costs that has been sunken into this product. xTool is not a small company. They are established and they've been doing things for a while. So they definitely have put a pretty penny into this machine. And I don't doubt that it probably does cost a fair bit in materials, R&D, and kind of just really bringing a product like this to market. But damn, $9,000 is a lot, because again, giving you guys a little bit of inside baseball, this DTF printer that I have right here, the 24-inch wide dual i3200 print head printer, plus the DF700 24-inch wide dryer shaker combo, I got that including shipping from China for the same $9,000. Like literally, it was $9,200 to get it shipped to me from China. And again, obviously that took two months to get it to me, but I mean, if you do this on Kickstarter, who the heck knows when you're gonna get it? I don't know, just take that into consideration, but there's obviously so many differences. The big one probably being that this printer is geared towards hobbyists. They want it to be something that you can keep in your home and operate that way. This doesn't even fit through a standard 32-inch doorway, so there's that as well. They're definitely different strokes for different folks, but I think that if you do place it just smack dab in the middle of all of the other DTF printer options that exist right now, it is a hard sell. And I really wish that it wasn't the case, because this thing is pretty freaking cool. But I think that with it kind of being the first of its kind, and they're really just charting the path for bringing this thing to hobbyists, to enthusiasts, that kind of a thing, that hopefully over time we can see the price of this come down and get it in the hands of more folks. All right, so just wrapping a couple things up, I did want to address a couple points of uncertainty. So they're not really, for some reason, saying the exact price of the shaker oven price, but I mean, if we just do some simple math, 4,000 minus 6,200, they want about 2,200 for that. So that is just my math. I don't know, they might lower the price, they might do something different. I'm not entirely sure. That was just my guess. Also, the long-term reliability, like I said, those i600 print heads, the jury's still out on that. We're gonna have to see how those perform over time, how those are able to be maintained with the Smart IQ technology that they've developed. A lot of things that can go wrong there, but a lot of things that can go right too. The actual printing speed, I would say, is probably the biggest point of uncertainty. Again, we're just gonna have to see what that actually turns out to be, how we can actually get the highest quality DTF prints while also making sure that it's not taking 2 hours to print 10 DTF transfers. And then the other thing is probably going to be the material costs. So with the inks, you can obviously, I mean, they do recommend for you to use the xTool ink, but in theory, you could put any ink you want in there. But the film is kind of proprietary in a way, it looks like. So one, I haven't seen many 14-inch variants of film out there. And then two, they kind of have these like weird blocks on the side where it fits into the actual xTool Apparel printer. So I think that might be something where you need to continue buying that from xTool, and buying it from a third party might not work out. But again, this is all speculation. It's just one of the points of uncertainty that I wanted to bring up so you have all of the information yourself. And then this is just a small thing. They do say that it's going to have like a roll-to-roll capability. So right now it just kind of like prints and cuts the sheets as they come off. So if you have like one 12-inch design, it'll print it and cut it. but they do say the roller availability is coming, so it can literally print from roll to roll, and then you can just roll up those sheets. It doesn't actually cut them for you, and it just does it as one long sheet for what it's worth. But all right, guys, I hope you guys learned something. If you guys haven't heard about this xTool Apparel printer, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is it something that you're gonna pick up yourself? Is this gonna be a pass for you? Unfortunately, I think it might be for me, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. Overall, I think that this xTool Apparel printer presents a pretty interesting proposition for businesses, hobbyists at home, people who work out of their garage, and kind of just really anyone who's looking to expand their presence in the DTF printing industry. DTF prints are hot, man. If you guys have been to any of the impressions trade shows, industry trade shows in general, you guys know DTF printers are all over the place. They are taking over the shows. So it is time to strike while the iron is hot, and this could be a pretty compelling option. With the focus on the ease of use and the automation, I think that this can be a great option for people who are looking to really get into this, but they don't have any experience operating machinery of this type. However, I really do think that potential buyers should be wary of the price, should also be wary of the cost of supplies and consumables, and then I think we just need to figure out how fast this thing actually prints before we should be putting our money down. Overall though, the long-term performance and the reliability is going to be the key determining factor on whether I think that you should get this DTF printer for your business. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and kind of getting my thoughts. This was a really cool video for me to make. I love this thing, man. I would love to get one. I just wish the price wasn't that high. I wish that I didn't have 4 of these DTF printers behind me, but I think that it's a really cool product, and I'm excited to see where the space goes from here. Overall, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you guys enjoyed this video and you want to see more of it. Give me a like down below. Comment what you guys learned if you were going to get one of these, or if it's just going to be a hard pass for you down below in the comments. I'll see you in the next video.
Check this out.